With all the rumors and reports we've been hearing, and most of them coming true, about the future of the DC Universe under the leadership of James Gunn, the announcement we got yesterday wasn't exactly surprising. In fact, it confirmed something that I thought would happen for weeks now. But at the same time, you're talking about one of the biggest stars in Hollywood with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and the announcement that, that thing he'd been working towards for years and years, changing the hierarchy of the DC Universe, coming out with his own Black Adam movie. Yeah, that didn't work out so well. It was kind of a failure, and we're moving on. No Black Adam 2, no Dwayne Johnson for the future of DC. Black Adam 2 not moving forward as part of new DC's first chapter. Dwayne Johnson says he's connected with James Gunn and will seek to use the character down the road. Yeah, I'm sure that'll happen 5-6 years down the road. I'm sure they'll bring Black Adam back with The Rock. But one piece of information that was included in this report was something interesting. Even though The Rock has been trying to convince everybody that Black Adam was not a financial failure, there's a new report out there that actually indicates it's significantly more than the $50 to $100 million loss that we initially thought. That in fact, Black Adam's production budget had ballooned due to a bunch of complications, due to a bunch of reshoots after people realized maybe this movie isn't as good as they expected it to be, which means that this was not just a $50 to $100 million loss, but potentially a $200 million loss for DC. Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam production budget reportedly ballooned to $260 million after costly reshoots. Now, a $260 million budget before any marketing, before anything like that, that would mean that reportedly Warner Brothers spent $80 million, although most industry experts think it was closer to $100 million. But even if you go with that $80 million number, considering the box office numbers that they hauled in, $390 million worldwide, they get to keep about 40% of the international numbers and just around 50, maybe a touch over 50% of that domestic number. That means from the box office, they get back about $170 million. That's it. But when you look at this, when you look at numbers like $260 million for the production budget on top of the $80 million for all the promotion, now you're looking at a nearly $170 million loss if you take everything in Warner Brothers' favor. That is a disaster. No wonder that they weren't interested in a sequel. No wonder they weren't interested in the character of Black Adam. And even though I've said multiple times, I wasn't a big fan of the movie. I thought it was a 5 out of 10. I prefer it to most Marvel movies that are out nowadays, certainly. But I didn't think there was anything special about it. A lot of fans seem to enjoy it, but nobody went out to see it. Nobody went out to support this movie, even with Henry Cavill in the post-credits scene. So the writing was on the wall for this one for a long time. But now that we're finding this out, it's kind of interesting. A new report claims Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in DC Films production ballooned to $260 million after a round of costly reshoots. This new report comes from The Hollywood Reporter shortly after Johnson announced that Black Adam is not part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's upcoming slate for the DCU. And we do know, we talked about that yesterday. We talked about that big announcement that The Rock made and that James Gunn retweeted and echoed. Johnson appeared to try to put a positive spin on Black Adam's poor box office showing after the film only brought in $390 million worldwide and $167 million at the domestic box office. Given the film reportedly had a $200 million production budget at the time, it would have needed to earn around $500 million to break even. True. However, Johnson claimed the film made somewhere between 52 and 72 million. You know what that was? That was when The Rock, or people close to The Rock, let's be real, people on his team, leaked fake numbers, fake financial numbers to Deadline in order to get an article written that he immediately tried to promote and spin as his own. It was false. There's no way it made any sense. They tried to claim that it was like historic video on demand numbers for Black Adam. That's what they were expecting to see. Unfortunately for them, a little bit of digging, and you notice that those numbers are completely, totally fake. They got called out for that. Clearly, that future's now dead as Black Adam is not in Gunn and Safran's plan for the DCU, but this new report claims the production is much higher than those estimates. Greenlit at $190 million, the movie's cost ballooned to $260 million, according to sources, especially after a costly 20-day round of reshoots undertaken after a poor test screening. That does not include marketing costs. If that number's accurate, the film needed to make around $650 million just to break even. Obviously, it's nowhere near hitting that mark. Yeah, absolutely. Not even close. And all these numbers that they're trying to claim for, oh, it was so in demand, people wanted to watch it in their homes. I beg to differ for a very simple reason. Now that it's out on HBO Max, and now that we actually have some third-party data about Black Adam, it's not good news for it there either. Clearly, the thing that wasn't in demand in theaters was also not in demand at home. Samba TV, Black Adam streaming debut falls short of other superhero movies. Last week's debut of Warner Brothers Pictures' Black Adam on HBO generated 1.2 million U.S. households over the first 3 days to rank the #1 movie on the streaming platform, according to Samba TV. Yes, for the weekend, it was the #1 streamer on the platform. And you can see here's the 1.2 million, very incredible numbers for Black Adam. Unfortunately, when you compare it to all of the other debuts on HBO Max, it's not even close. Now, you got Mortal Kombat up at 4.3 million. Look at The Batman, 4.1 million. Godzilla vs. Kong, 3.9. But let's focus on DC movies, right? The Suicide Squad, 3.5 million. Wonder Woman, 3.2 million. Zack Snyder's Justice League at 2.2 million. Still nearly doubling what you saw from Black Adam. So no, people aren't interested in watching this at home either. So it just lies all around, and it looks like the lies and the deceit eventually caught up to The Rock, caught up to Black Adam, and it looks like this was a monumental failure. Way worse than anybody expected. $50 to $100 million loss, that's what people estimated. That's not good, certainly. That's bad news. Your movie flopped, didn't make its money back, but okay, you can maybe move on and live with that. But if you're talking 170 to $190 million loss, now that's the realm of possibilities where we're sitting with Black Adam. That's a disaster for Warner Brothers, a disaster for DC, and it's no wonder that they wanted to move away from this. Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.